it's already August, and by now I think all the calendar shoots and calendar work has to begin, right? So what's happening with the Kingfisher calendar this year? What's the
We're
scene?
looking for a location. We're looking for a location, but we don't obviously want to go someplace where there'll be quarantine issues.
Okay.
So and with the problem with flights in or out, I mean, I don't want to come back and spend 7 days in a hotel somewhere or whatever. So we'll necessarily need to figure out where, what to do. So talks are on as to just location, in terms of location, what to do. That's the key to it. But otherwise, I mean, as an assignment, we've shot it for 18 years. It's a fantastic property for the UB group, and it'll continue for now, at least.
Also, when you're looking at these girls, what do you look for exactly? Is it the attitude? Is it the features? What exactly do you look for as a creative person, as a photographer?
Look, it's like this. If you're looking to hire a photographer, you'll inevitably, you're not going to ask, do you have enough equipment, and do you, are your lenses clean? Do they have any fungus? You will not ask questions like this, correct? So, so I'm saying, so the fact that if somebody is a model, it is assumed you're not doing anybody a favor by being beautiful and being in shape. That's what you're supposed to do. Okay. So, so that's that. So for a start, so I'm always looking for something beyond that, a bit of an X factor. It's very difficult to define as to what, but that, there'll be somebody who will be a little special behind the camera, and then, and then there's the possibility of, the person going into another orbit right after that. And the calendar has had a phenomenal record of, shooting early with people, and they end up becoming big stars, whether it was Katrina in the first edition to Yana, Deepika, and then as recently as Shobita, and Nora Fateh, and so on, So in between, there's been Saimi Khair, and, like a lot of people. So it's been literally Nargis, Isha Gupta, lots and lots of, at least 10, 12 people who've gone on to a career in Bollywood to whatever extent of success.
So, but where do you look for inspiration before every shoot? What is it that, inspires you to give something new, and what is the secret behind it?
I think the key really is to have a deep sense of interest in other arts. So whether it is, and this might sound bizarre, but it comes into play when you're doing something in your thing. So for example, I believe, great cooking, is an art. Architecture is an art form. Paintings, of course, are. Sculptures, definitely, and so on. So I think you should be mindful of what is happening in the rest of the world, in other in the other arts, so to speak. So just sometimes how food comes plated on a on your plate, you're already salivating looking at, oh my God, look how beautiful it is. So it's something that, for example, Indian food, we don't do. Indian food might be amongst the tastiest in the world, and I love it, but we've only concentrated on the taste. Thought about smell, but we've never focused on, let's say, a visual appeal. Your roti will come pachak on the plate, and the curry will come in one katori, and and rice and dal.
Yeah.
It tastes great. It tastes great, but let's admit that it doesn't look great.
Yes.
So you'll find our desserts look delicious, but you'll have some. Our desserts taste delicious, but there's nothing sexy about the way they look. Okay,
No.
like, whereas you could have some really interesting international desserts that, for example, are plated so beautifully कि यार मैं spoon लेके इसको तोड़ूं कि नहीं, you feel bad, I have to destroy this little thing to eat it, you know what I mean? So I think it's very important for us to focus on a lot of the other things. Like, for example, if you go to like most of urban India right now, even the modern buildings, we have for just a simple thing, okay, and say some place like Delhi, you've got some neoclassical building in a colony right next to, or like a postmodern building right next to a Gothic structure, right next to a classical Indian building. I mean, what are you doing? There needs to be a housing code that in this area, all the buildings have to be da 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 da, whatever it is, because it is so ridiculous. The walls are sticking to each other. So, it's, you spend money and you spend it badly, on literally grotesque design. And even if your design is individually okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
then in a group it looks horrible, and that's
Yeah.
really the word for it. It's horrible. And like, before, this is not a Mumbai Delhi thing. I can assuredly tell you
Huh.
that most of the architecture in Mumbai also is beyond absurdly bad. Okay,
Yeah.
so there's no, just from a simple thing, a town planning,
Hmm.
that there needs to be a visual look to it. So I think if you want to be inspired in photography, you need to be keen and interested in all the other arts.
Yeah.
Of course, you look at other photography all over the world and what's happening, on the latest thing.
Hmm.
I strongly recommend Pinterest to people. If you're
Hmm.
keen on something, then at least it pulls up pins of what you're interested in, so it's easier for you to go through, um, and then choose from there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Also, what is beauty for you, Atul? Because you have worked with the most stunning women. So, what is beauty to you? What do you perceive as beauty?
At the risk of sounding jaded, I think it really lies in the eye of the beholder to some extent. And I've done this as an exercise quite often. For example, if there's 5 girls in, let's say, since we were talking about the calendar, let's address that. And if I've asked people, so who was your favorite? Or even if I've not asked people, people will tell me. It's incredible how many times different girls pop up in an almost even ratio.
Yeah,
There might be one little more than the others, but there'll be something quirky about someone that is interesting. So for me, if it's someone who can, in a two-dimensional picture, stay memorable for you, if the picture starts to tell a story in some way. So that's the thing. I think, it's, one has to be conscious of the fact that you um, can you be memorable. So I read a line somewhere long back. He says, you never want to be a Coca-Cola bottle. Okay, I'm saying, what's
okay.
that? It says,
Yeah.
there's millions of them and you can't tell the difference.
Who is your muse, Atul? If you had to, give me a name or a few names, who would it be?
Well, as a model, I think if I could shoot every campaign with someone like Lisa Aiden, the world would be nice. So it's
Okay.
yeah. So someone like her and Malaika, for example, are just phenomenal. You just aim the camera in the general vicinity of their presence, and they just do their own thing, and you can just be looking wherever you want and pressing the shutter, and you'll get great work.